Aloha humans! My name is Lorelai, but you can call me Lori, and welcome back to Be or Not to Be. So if you saw the live stream yesterday at the time of recording, we already went through the intro, so I'm just gonna skip it. But, wow, it's longer than I thought it was. We went through everything with the little skulls beside it, which is like what Shakespeare picked for the story of Hamlet. So, that's on here. If you have 3 hours to spare, you should go check that out. If not, this time around, I'm going to be just choosing the options I like, starting this time with Hamlet Sr., and next time starting with Ophelia, and after that starting with Hamlet, and from there, I don't know. So, we've seen this part already, but just for the sake of storytelling, I'll go ahead and read it too. You've just been born. Congratulations, good work on that thing. Now, surprise, babies are boring, so we're going to jump ahead in time to a point where you're an adult, and you've already lived a bunch of your life. But I promise most of what we're skipping over was really dull. You ate a lot, and slept a lot, and made some friends, tears were shed, makeouts were totally had, etc. It was a bunch of high school stuff. The awesome stuff starts now. So, let's begin, my friend. Remind me again, who are you? I'm gonna just go ahead and skip ahead and just read Hamlet Sr., because this is who we're gonna pick. He's the king of Denmark, 50 years old. He's super good at fighting and leading men into battle, and naps. So let's say +1 to each? Look, bottom line, he's an unstoppable machine of death, and should you choose to be him, you may experience kingly glory. So that's who we're gonna pick. You are King Hamlet. All of Denmark is under your command. Everything's going so great for you. At present, you are in Norway, where just this afternoon you led Denmark's forces to an astounding victory, during which you personally killed the Norwegian king. Stabbed him right through the head, you did. His eye popped out and rolled on the ground, and then you stepped on it. Whoa, your ass is bad. You are a badass. You decided after a day of being good at fighting, you should have a nap. You've earned it. You settle down in an orchard for some nappy times. During your delightful rest, your brother pours some poison in your ear, and you die. Surprise! You didn't know poisons worked that way. Wow, you've barely made one choice so far and you're dead already. Way to go, champ! You're really good at books, huh? That's just a stellar job you're doing reading here, Chuckles. The end. Okay, so we may be dead, but we know how this story goes. Okay, fine. I feel sorry for you. Here's a choice that you can choose. Well, obviously we're gonna become a ghost. Good news! The afterlife exists, and it's full of ghosts. You know this because you're now one of them. You get to spend all your time slamming doors, rattling chains, and telling on the person who killed you. But here's the thing. I, the author, told you, the reader, that your brother poured poison in your ear while you napped. But you, as Hamlet Sr., have no idea how you died. You slept through the whole thing. So you need to figure out who killed you if you're going to revenge yourself on your murderer, assuming you even were murdered. Because remember that for all you know, you could have died of a heart attack. This is an example of dramatic irony. Only since we're in the second person, it's an amazing example of an entirely new species of dramatic irony, something I'm going to call second-person pronoun paradoxical autodramatic irony. You are now aware of information that you're not aware of. I love it. This should be fun. Do we accept that we died of a heart attack, or listen in on people's conversations and see if any of them talk about how they totally killed you? I don't want to end it right now, so let's listen in on people. You hang around Norway for a bit, trying to listen in on what people are saying, but they're all speaking Norwegian. You only speak Danish. So, understanding Norwegian is a little difficult. It all sounds like Swedish to you. Which actually makes a lot of sense, since Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish are all related North Germanic languages, descended from early linguistic differentiation between regular Germanic speakers and North Germanic speakers around 200 AD. That's the great thing about To Be or Not to Be. Every now and then it throws, like, genuine historical information on you. You nod your head, agreeing that all of this is both accurate and extremely interesting. While these three languages are generally supposed to be mutually intelligible, you find you can understand Norwegian speakers only if you're concentrating, which you are, and if they're speaking slowly and clearly, which they're not, as everyone is running around upset about war and all these kings getting killed. Ironically, Norwegian speakers can understand Danish easier than Danish speakers understand Norwegian, but that doesn't help you much. That would only be useful if you were playing as the Norwegian king whose ghost has stowed away on your army's boat headed back to Denmark. But I haven't given you that option, even though it would be extremely awesome. If you're wondering what happens to this vengeful ghost king, I can tell you only this. The answer exists in your imagination? But here's the good news. It turns out written Danish and written Norwegian are actually pretty similar. So you spend the next several nights haunting people, quietly reading their diaries while they sleep peacefully in their beds. And you don't know this, but ghosts do this all the time. Ghosts just love sneaking a peek at the secrets of the living. It takes a while, but you finally find the diary of someone who wrote on the day you died that she was wandering by a garden, minding her own business, when she saw some Danish guy pour something in some other Danish guy's ear. Hey, that sounds like what could have happened to you, but remember, you don't know that's exactly what happened to you because of that new irony we invented. Well, I feel like she probably won't understand us if we try to, talk to her, so let's do the piece of paper. I should probably read the options. Wake up this person and ask her about it, or wake up this person and hold up a piece of paper where you've written down a question asking her about it. Different languages, writing's more similar. We're going to go with that. You grab a piece of paper and write down the words, "Hey, I'm not here to kill you. I just want to know about that murder you maybe witnessed." But in Danish, of course, haha. You gently shake the woman awake while holding the piece of paper up in front of her. She's freaked out initially. She was just woken up by a ghostly apparition from beyond the grave. But once she reads your notes, she looks at you suspiciously and says, "For real?" No, there's no reason a ghost would ask about that. You flip over the paper and write, "Yeah, I'm the guy that got killed maybe, and I guess I want to revenge my death or whatever. But please speak slowly, as Norwegian is not my native language. I'm from Denmark." "Oh," the woman says in Danish. "I speak Danish too." "Kick ass," you reply. Very time period appropriate. She tells you what she saw and gives you a physical description of the guy. Unfortunately, the man answering to her description could only be one person. Your brother, Claudius. Congratulations, my king. You now know what you know, so that whole second-person pronoun paradoxical autodramatic irony thing has been slain. You have been awarded 500 experience points, plus you've unlocked a new quest. Revenge yourself on Claudius. You're feeling pretty chuffed about this whole situation. Chuffed is one of those words that has two meanings. Okay, let's revenge your death. Your murderer is getting away with it in Denmark. Do we swim back to Denmark, or do we wait for the next boat back to Denmark? So swim back, or wait for the boat. We're a ghost. We could totally swim it, and that could be pretty funny. But I feel like waiting for the next boat is maybe the correct option. And I do want to keep this going a little longer, so I'm going to try waiting for the boat. You go down to the docks and start poking your head into the bridge of every boat you can find, flipping through the captain's logs and itineraries until you find one that's headed for Denmark. And it leaves in just a few minutes. Nice! This is really convenient, and not at all just plot progression. During the voyage, you poke around the boat looking for things to amuse yourself with. You experiment with doing some ghost things, like putting your head inside a barrel of wine and then making your head corporeal. But that just causes the barrel to explode with the sudden pressure inside and make you get wine in your eyes, so you don't do that more than a few times. I love how it takes you more than one time to realize that that's not the correct option. Also, is that illustration Ophelia holding a sword and a large gun? Does that happen in this story? I hope we can get to whatever that illustration is of in the Ophelia run. It only takes a while before your boat arrives in Denmark. Let us arrive in Denmark. You make it back to Denmark. The first thing you want to do is track down your brother to take revenge. Turns out, that's really easy, because he's in the first place you check, the royal court. He's there with your widow, Gertrude. Weird. They're acting all close and stuff. Oh well, he's probably just trying to comfort her after your untimely death. Haha. Brothers are really great. He murdered you. You know he murdered you. Why wouldn't you be suspicious of this? Though, maybe not? There we go. Do we listen in on what they're saying or ignore what they're saying? I'm certain there's nothing untoward going on here. We've already proven ourselves to be quite the snoop, so we're gonna listen in. Hey Gertrude, says Claudius, I sure am happy that we married each other, even if it was so soon after your first husband died under mysterious circumstances. Whoa, that certainly was, in terms of exposition, a very efficient sentence. You decide instantly that your initial revenge plan, haunt a mirror so that instead of Claudius's reflection he sees you, and then you mirror his movements so he's not really sure what's going on, teehee, is needlessly complex and stupid. I don't know, that's pretty spooky. As long as that's not, like, the only thing you do. That's, like, the build-up. Dude killed you and married your widow. Since you are from olden times, you have an extremely old-fashioned sense of ownership over female sexuality, so this really gets stuck in your craw. Instead of spooking Claudius, you decide to kill him and complete the quest, or get our son to do it instead. We are a ghost of action! We've made it this far on our own. Let's kill him! This is awesome. It's going to go great, because who better to know how to kill someone than someone who has recently been through that getting killed to death process themselves. Although, again, getting killed by a ghost has the potentially awkward result of that person turning into a ghost, and now there's just two ghosts in the room who murdered mutual murder in this case. So, that was gonna be awkward either way. You wait till Claudius is sleeping, next to your widow, then wake him up by tapping him on the forehead a bit. Hey, it's me, you whisper. Your brother, the one you murdered. Ah, crap, Claudius whispers back. Ghosts are real? Real pissed at you anyway, you reply. Great comeback, Hamlet Sr. Listen, I'll cut to the chase. We are from a time where an eye for an eye is considered to be a good thing to build a justice system around, so I'm here to kill you. How? Claudius asks, his eyes wide, terrified. Ah, geez. So many ways, you say, counting them off on your fingers. I could startle you and make you have a heart attack, but that takes time. I could throw a pot at your head until you die, but that lacks grace. Instead, check this out. You move your ghost body so it's floating right above Claudius. He stares at you, eyes wide. I'm sorry, he whispers. Way too late for that, you reply. You lower yourself to him, face to face, and to keep going. His face dominates your field of vision, and then you're inside his skull, inside the pink of his brain, his blood darkly obscuring your sight. And I know there's a terrible joke I could make about this, but they're brothers, so I'm gonna leave it be. You sink slowly deeper and deeper into him, lining up your ghost body with his regular body until you are just about occupying exactly the same space. Then you make yourself corporeal. What happens next happens so quickly and with such force that it's hard to describe, but Claudius explodes everywhere, captures most of it. I mean, you're fine, but man is this disgusting. You're fine, but man is this disgusting. There we go. Literally disgusting. Gertrude wakes up, dripping in gore, screaming. You, my friend, have achieved revenge. You roll over onto your back and apologize to Gertrude. You explain over her screams what happened, and you tell her that you still love her even though she married your brother mere weeks after you died. But you can't be with her anymore, you say. You tell her you need to go find your own path. Sorry about the bed, you say, floating up through the roof, which I actually think should be read. Sorry about the bed. You spend the rest of the afterlife acting as an immortal judge from beyond the grave, exploding those who have committed the most egregious crimes, merely blowing the hands off those who have been awful people, but still you feel deserve a second chance. People whisper your name in fear. Criminals are a cowardly, superstitious lot, after all. And it works out pretty good for you. You do a lot of good for a lot of people. And yep, it turns out that blowing up bad guys never gets old. The end. Okay. We did it! Let's get our ranking. Come on. Come on. Dang it. Not to be. I'm pretty sure the only way to get to B or anything higher than not to be is to follow the skulls, because I know that one we got to B. Spoilers. Your stats this adventure. Poisons misused, only 1. Choices made, 11. Way less than last time. Times you were, 0. Times you were not, 1. You created a better story than Shakespeare. We did it, guys. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm sure there are things I'm supposed to say here, but I still haven't come up with an outro, so awkward silence. Goodbye. Okay, but I haven't given you the... When will the dogs stop?